know about Hanukkah other than the fact that we light candles, we eat donuts, and maybe try to compete with Christmas on what's a cooler winter holiday? This year, with everything going on within Israel and across Jewish communities all over the world, I think it's even more important that we reiterate that the story of the Maccabees is alive today. So just a little bit of history. I'm going to try to make this not so boring. Let's go specifically back to the year 332 BC, when Israel was conquered by the Syrian Greeks, also known as the Seleucid Empire. And the king, or the ruler of that empire, was Antiochus III. Antiochus III loved Greek culture. And while Antiochus III allowed for freedom of religion and allowed the Jews to practice Judaism, he strongly encouraged adopting Greek culture. And many Jews did, and this was known as Hellenism. And this created a rift amongst Jews. Some Jews thought it was completely okay to incorporate some of the Greek culture into Judaism, and some were strictly against it. The difference in opinion of what Judaism should look like created a rift between the Jewish people. Sound familiar? When Antiochus III died and his son, Antiochus IV, gained power, Antiochus IV was not exactly a big fan of Judaism. When he noticed the divide between the Jews, and specifically amongst the Jewish leadership, that's when he decided to take advantage of the situation. Again, sound familiar? Antiochus IV besieged Jerusalem, massacred thousands of Jews, sold many into slavery, outlawed Jewish rules, practices, and traditions, such as circumcision and keeping kosher. He made it illegal to observe Shabbat and to study Torah. And that's where the game of playing with spinning dreidels comes from. Because when the Jews sat together to study Torah and someone from the army would pass by, they would quickly hide their books and pretend as if they were playing with the spinning tops. Antiochus IV desecrated the temple. He turned it into a shrine for a Greek god, Zeus, sacrificed pigs, purposely pigs, on the holy altar of the temple. Then comes along this brave priest named Matityahu, who was like, no, none of this is okay. This is our holy temple. This is our holy city. We need to get back our temple. We need to go back to practicing Judaism the way Judaism is supposed to be practiced, and was strongly opposed to the Hellenistic ways of the Jews in the land. As a strong believer that we should keep faithful to our own traditions, he preferred to commit suicide over worshiping a pagan god. And he essentially began the rebellion against the Seleucid Empire. After he died, his 5 sons took over the rebellion against the colonizers of Israel and the oppressive empire of Antiochus IV. And here comes the main character of our holiday, Judah, also known as the Maccabee, which translates to the hammer, because he was known to be quick, strong, and powerful in his attack. He essentially created this tiny army that fought against the second largest army in the world. But the Jews, recognizing the fact that they are outnumbered, using ancient day diplomacy, were able to get the support of the strongest empire in the world, the Romans. Even though the Romans didn't have to come to Israel to fight per se, just knowing that they had the support of the strongest empire in the world gave the Maccabees the motivation and strength to know that they could succeed. And they succeeded miraculously in taking back the temple. And when the Maccabees took over the temple and entered it and cleaned it up, this is where the story of the miraculous oil that lasted for 8 days comes from, and that's why we celebrate for 8 glorious nights. Thousands of years later, the Maccabees are a symbol for strength and courage and bravery and heroism. Today, our modern day Maccabees are there fighting for us, defending us, with their bravery, courage, and heroism, with the amazing support of the great nations around the world. As you can see, the story of Hanukkah is more relevant today than it ever was. This Hanukkah, in 2023, more than ever, must we remember that Jews must be united. Never allow for an external enemy to ever take advantage of a rift between us, because we see what happens when we're divided. This year, for every candle I light, for every donut I eat, for every dreidel I spin, I will remember our modern day Maccabees in IDF uniform, sacrificing their life for the right of the Jewish people to self-determination in their indigenous homeland, and for Jews all over the world to live safely, free of anti-Semitism, with freedom to worship and freedom to be who they are. Proud Zionists. So from my home in the land of the Jewish people, the land of Israel, I wish you and all your families a very happy Hanukkah all over the world. Am Yisrael Chai.